Another hour, and I'd love to get an update from you, Craig, on what you're seeing there.
I'd love to give you one, and I've got bags under my bags now, but it has been a long 96 hours here. At least that's what it seems like, because somebody tweeted that with my name. He's been working for 96 hours. Let him go. And I appreciate that.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, we're going to get through this next half hour, and I wouldn't, honestly, I don't care how long the storm would last. If it was still bad here, I wouldn't go anywhere because we've got to get through it. We've got to get through it together, and I think we got through it. Now the problem is, and as I mentioned this from the beginning, it's a two-phased event. We got through the storm, and now comes the recovery period. And for some, this is going to be longer than for others, and most of that is going to rely on when the power is restored. And coming up, not in this segment, but coming up, I'm going to give you the extended forecast. And of course, it's still September. It's early September, and in South Florida in early September, it's hot. And starting tomorrow, we return to summertime, and that means that those without power are now going to really feel the heat, the humidity, and not the wind, because the wind is going to be down. So we're going to go from got through the storm, now have to survive the recovery. So the first thing I want to say to the folks that did get through the recovery, which is all of us, are into the recovery, is stay hydrated. Don't get overexerted. The shutters can start coming down tomorrow, but when we get to the end of this forecast, I know many of you are going to keep them up, and I'll show you why in a second. But just take it easy. We've been through a lot. Don't pace yourself, especially if you don't have power and you don't have air conditioning. So let's talk about what's going on tonight, because it's good news. We're looking at good news here. Still a few showers. This main feeder band is to the east. Lots of lightning out there, but it is east of us, and it's going to stay east of us. So for a while, I was talking about possibly a flood threat also on this, because the center went to the west, but the center hasn't gone far enough west to have this over us, and this is just nasty thunderstorms. So imagine after going through today, just the wind and the wind and the wind and the rain, and then this thing backs over you and stalls, and then it's thunderstorms all night, and if you happen to have roof damage, then you've got water coming in. What we went through today at the level it was could have even been worse tonight if we were dealing with this, but we're not dealing with that, so that's good. Just some showers coming through. Still some wind gusts with those showers, and we're going to see that through the night tonight, those little showers and the wind from time to time. So as we go up to the north, this is the way it looks now. Here is the hurricane, and it is going to pass just west of Tampa Bay. And still there's a concern for some storm surge flooding, because the bay was emptied by this persistent northeast wind blowing the water out and still holding the water out to a great extent. But as the storm continues to move to the north, the winds will start to come around to the north and then northwest, and then eventually west and southwest, and so that water is going to come rushing in. So that's a concern. Really the good thing for Tampa also is what took place down by Marco Island, where the storm made landfall there, because then it was a longer inland track. The storm weakening and staying over land. It's a big rain producer. There's going to be a lot of flood advisories and flood warnings through eastern Florida, and even some tornado warnings through North Florida. But in terms of what we were looking at, even overnight last night, about the potential of a Category 4 here in Tampa, after coming across Cudjoe Key this morning at 9:10 a.m. was just still another thing of bad news, and I felt like I just gave everybody just a whole week of bad news. And so the good news tonight is this: the storm is down to just barely Category 2. Winds are at 100 miles an hour. It's moving north, almost due north at 14. The pressure is coming up, a sign of weakening. It's northeast, east-northeast of Sarasota, and the hurricane force winds are here. And let me let you see this a little bit better so that you can see it at home full screen who are at home, and those of you who are listening on the radio, which are quite a few. The storm east-northeast of Sarasota. The hurricane force winds are in central Florida. The tropical storm force winds extend down to South Florida, and here's the future track. It's to the north, and as it goes to the north, it passes by Orlando, Ocala, Gainesville, and this is Monday morning now in the northern part of the peninsula. Tallahassee's feeling the effects, but the effects are decreasing in the Tampa area. And then further to the north, the wind field now diminishing as it's a tropical storm Monday evening, and that's over southwest Georgia and Atlanta experiencing tropical storm force winds. That's how big the circulation is that Atlanta would experience tropical storm force winds, and then on up to the north, and there it dies up there. And goodbye Irma. Here are some of the winds, and these are the current winds, and there's still some pretty high winds out there from time to time, especially in Broward now. Broward's still closer to the storm, so anywhere from 16 to 38 miles an hour, but these will gradually settle down overnight. There'll still be a little bit of a gust, but it doesn't mean the wind, the storm rather, is coming back to us. Other winds 9 to about 23 miles an hour, Coral Springs, Bow Harbor. The winds will be up a little bit higher along the ocean tonight, but the winds are gradually coming down, so that's looking good. Here's the forecast for the moisture that's over us. Right now, the Irma moisture, there's a little Irma tail, but that's staying east of us. Here we are on Monday, back to sunshine, hot temperatures. Tuesday, dry air, sunshine, hot temperatures. A little bit of moisture down to our southeast. By Wednesday, starts coming back our way, so our rain chances start going up. And by Thursday and Friday, we could see some tropical downpours as the tropical moisture comes back in. Now, I'm not the only source of information. A lot of people have the internet, or at least can get the internet through their cell phones. And now that we've gotten through Irma, people are saying, but Craig, what about Jose? That storm out there that kind of came in Irma's track and impacted the northern Leeward Islands. So Jose is out here. It's a Category 3 storm. It's moving to the northwest at 14. It's about 245 miles to the northeast of Grand Turk. So here is the future track on Jose, and everybody take a deep breath because it's not coming here in the cone, but it does make what we call an anticyclonic loop. It is trapped under that big steering high that took Irma west, 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 and then when Irma got around the high, went north, 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 north. Well, Jose is trapped under it. So watch the track here, the future track, as we go through time. It goes up and around and around and over to there. That's the Friday time frame there. And most people, and for you who are on radio, it's northeast of the Bahamas. But most people who would see this would see it doing a big circle in the ocean and then heading west, and it looks like it's pointed toward Florida. But the steering currents change down later on, and it looks like it will turn to the northwest east of Florida. So for now, I'm going to say, let's not worry about Jose. We got through one storm, and trust me, I would tell you if I thought you should worry about Jose, because when Irma was all the way across the ocean, I was saying we need to pay attention to this one.